like for sure. Especially how nice I am mechanically, but um, yeah, that's just one of the things he just didn't know. He didn't know how to play his role. That's all it was. So how do I know when to gank? Okay, okay. I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna use this game as an example. That same game as an example. But yeah, that's how you know. That's how you can tell a semi-decent jungler from a bad jungler. The Malphite was semi-decent, and I knew he was semi-decent. That's why I was able to play around it. If he was like a monster jungler, I would have been in trouble. But that would require also the way to be a monster mid laner. Because I can play around a really like really good at least one enemy player or champion. But playing like against a duo that is like, I don't know, freaking Diamond Smurf or something, that's impossible. Like, at least for me. The reason it's impossible is not because I can't do it, it's because it requires my team to like know how to play around it as well. And most of them get toxic because all they see is, oh, your mid laner is inting. But let's go to Graves. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go to, where is it? Right here. Okay. I'm gonna try to explain the best I can. So he's starting red side. Immediately, one of the things you want to do um when you start jungle, you all, and this again, this is one of those things. This is very helpful. Thank you. Yeah, sure. I hope that it's helpful. If you feel like asking your freaking, I don't know, master, challenger, diamond friend, emerald friend, if my tips are okay or not, and you want to, share pointers with them, you can. I just know that this is what works for me when I play jungle. And it's like, I'm sure of it. But in this situation, I'm Graves. Something that I want to do, and it doesn't matter what lane I play, something that I want to do is know where their jungle is at all times. And all five of the enemy teammates, but specifically their jungler, because they're the ones that get in the way of how your laning phase goes. So me as Graves, I'm like, okay, I'm starting red. Obviously, enemy jungle's either gonna start their blue or their red. Obviously. Um, the way to anticipate it, usually if you don't have vision, you kind of have to wing it. But this is why I say that keeping an eye on the map is very important. I do this all the time, doesn't matter what role I play. If the jungle shows in vision, because you're not in the game, you're not gonna see this. If you don't have all vision, you're gonna see your side. So, oh wait, I'm sorry, I forgot that I have the camera in the way. Hold on, let me move this over here. Okay, just to kind of show what I'm trying to say. Sorry about that. Okay, at least I caught it on. So in this scenario, Graves is doing red. He's starting red. That this is everyone's level 1. Game just started. Camps come up in this season. Camps come up at minute 55. They used to come up at minute 30. They come up at second 55 seconds into the game. Except for there's always one camp in each side that comes up a little after. I think it's 105 or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so he's starting red, whatever. Here, I personally like to check everywhere. Um, as soon as you start a game, you want to walk to the river. As soon as you start a game, before your camps come up. So you have about, I don't know, I think it's like 30 seconds, 35 seconds, something like that, to go all the way to the river. The whole team does, both sides. I like to do that because I like to check if anybody's trying to peek, anybody's trying to ward, anybody's trying to, like, literally anybody in the enemy team that comes to my side of the jungle is giving their jungler and their whole team information. So if I see someone here and it's not the enemy jungler, more than likely they're gonna ward or they're gonna invade. Or they just walk back, but that's information for their team. I do that all the time. In this case, I warded here. That's just to know whether my jungler is gonna, I mean, the enemy jungler or anybody is gonna come to our jungle. I didn't see anybody walk that way, so I was like, okay, the enemy jungler is doing their camps. They're not invading. So, by the way, I say VODs, so you can always come back to the VOD later, and if you want to study like a little bit of what I'm breaking down. Anyway, but you can find all this stuff on YouTube. So he starts his red. Cool. He knows well, I don't know if he knows. This Graves is bad, right? I'm the Katarina. I know that the enemy jungler is on the enemy side. So I'm always, as I'm playing the laning phase, I'm seeing that everybody's on where they should be. My Graves is doing red, whatever. This is fine. This is actually not a bad way to clear. Finishing the red here is actually great. Keeping your eye on the map the whole time. Again, as Graves. So instead of, this is probably an issue that the Graves was doing, by the way. He probably was playing like this. He was playing locked camera. I'm 100% sure you, the Ezreal, don't play locked cam. People in low elo, a lot of them play locked cam. You should not do that. You should learn how to play on locked cam. I'm pretty sure this is how the Graves played. And that's a problem because if you play locked cam, you miss information. It's good to do this, and like sometimes even though you don't have vision, you see some animations of something getting hit or something like that, and you can kind of tell like, oh, someone's there. But I digress. He's doing, sorry, I accidentally went back a few seconds, but so in this scenario, I'm close to mid as Graves. I'm close to mid. The first thing you want to do as a jungler when you're about to finish your first side of the map specifically is take a look at the closest lane you have. In this case, it's mid. Everybody's full health, so you don't have to prio the lane. And the wave state is sort of equal. They're kind of in the middle of the lane. This is fine. You don't have to gank this. The only way, me personally, I would gank this lane is if I was somebody else that had like CC for engage. But as Graves, you don't have CC. You're just damage, and your mid laner Katarina is just damaged. So in this case, it's fine not to gank it. That's completely fine. Also, Katarina and pretty much every champion in the game technically have access to 75% of their kit level 3 because they unlock 3 abilities out of the 4. So in this scenario, everyone's level 2, level 2, level 2. It's fine. You don't have to gank this. But you definitely should keep an eye on it. Why is it good to keep an eye on it? Imagine Malphite is level 2 also. Just hypothetically. And he comes mid through here, for example. One, he's in a horrible spot because you're right there. Katarina's right here. Malphite is here. He's between two, like you and your teammate. This is an easy punish. And Malphite is immobile. He doesn't have dashes until level 6. All he has is flash. So this is an easy pick. That didn't happen, so that's fine. Whatever, but it's good to just always keep an eye on the map. It's good to look at bot lane, especially since you're heading towards this side. You already know your mid lane, they're even, whatever. That's fine. This looks bad. This looks bad on your end. This is not gankable. But here's the kicker. These guys are starting to trade. They're starting to fight, trade, whatever. You see how they are. Cool. You think oh, you know, they still have a lot of whatever. They still have a lot of health. They still have everything. It's not. I don't got a gank. Whatever. Cool. Let me stick to my farm. This is fine if you plan to gank like immediately after clearing your camps or whatever. But in this scenario, the next trade can decipher which lane takes like kills which laner kills which lane. And it's good to hover it because they're already trading. But you can do the same thing with bot lane. You can do the same with both. So these are the lanes that are closest to you. But you're obviously he let it reset. This was bad. This is probably what delayed his in this case, like right here, you don't want this to happen to you. He was fine until that. When you're clearing your camp, I'm gonna show you. The second the camp starts walking away, it starts gaining health back, and that delays your clear. Look, that yellow bar, when it goes down, as soon as it's done, the camp's gonna go all the way back. So he's hovering the circle, but he's like on the peak of the circle of your camp clear. There's always gonna be an indicator. If you're on that peak, you have to step in and out so that this timer can reset. If you stay in this like scenario right here, you have to know for a fact that you're gonna kill the camp. Otherwise, this happens. It's done. It walked off. And now it gained health, it delayed his clear, which could mean the enemy jungler is either already about to gank or already taking crab, whatever, you know. And it also can potentially, look, see, he's already there. He could have stopped them, they could have met at the same time. I pinged it. This is how you also know, hold on, let me ban this thing. They're like every stream. Oh crap, I gotta do something. Hold on. Okay. So I know my Graves is here as Cat. I know my Graves is here. When Graves showed up, I saw him. If Graves would have been there earlier, I would have ran straight down to fight the Malphite with Graves. But because he delayed the camp, Graves showed up later. Malphite is already out of vision. I know he's there because I looked at the map. I knew he was there because I pay attention. But Graves didn't ping it. So as soon as I saw that he didn't ping anything, this is the part of the game where I was like, my Graves sucks. Because he should have immediately pinged vision, pinged on my way, anything, absolutely anything. That would have given me information. It would have given our whole team information. And that's where he fucked up. He showed to his teammate that he's unreliable because he just saw Malphite. And not only that, it's a Malphite, meaning that he's a ranged champion with only like one projectile ability. Why is a Graves scared of a Malphite? It's level 3. So like he fucked up, meaning Malphite got to my lane first. Thankfully, I saw him, and I was like, my Graves is right there. I see him. I have enough health. Let's go fight him. This hit, I didn't expect that to hit. I was gonna go in all the way. But when this hit, I was like, damn, that chunked me for a lot. I even said it in stream. I was like, that chunked me for a lot. But, hold on, I'll be back. Sorry, something. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, like, as soon as you see anybody in the map, give info. If you danger ping, you're telling your team to back off. If you ping on the way, you're telling your team, go engage on this one person. In this case, when Graves was here, he could have pinged on my way, just like I did, and we could have collapsed on the Malphite while he was here. But since he's all the way over here, that means that Hui can help him. So it kind of turned into an even situation. I'm the least health and I'm the squishiest out of the four, so I don't really want to fight this. But I think I think I disengaged. I think I remember. Yeah, I was like, no, I'm not gonna go for that. But that's mistake number one. Well, actually, mistake number two. Mistake number. I would be a better jungler than this idiot. I know for a fact you would. I know for a fact you would. Especially like mechanically, you definitely have. Asriel is not easy to play. He's pretty. He's like to an average level. He's still on the difficult side. He's definitely harder than Katarina, because Katarina, all of her abilities are point click. Asriel's are, all of them are skill shot. So yeah, so nothing happens. This could have been a free kill, or even something as much as we collapsed on the Malphite here. We peeled him so much that he flashed away. Something like that is just a free kill next time we see him, because we just leave. Next time we see Malphite. Oh, actually, as a matter of fact, after the first back, if we burn the flash on Malphite, after Graves goes back, buys, whatever, he can go invade because he still has flash. He can go invade all in the Malphite. And Graves wins that because Malphite's going AP. But yeah, I chose to stay in lane because Hui is not backing. So I'm like, I'm not going to back either. I'm going to lose XP and gold if I back, whatever. That's just me. I think he's just, this is fine. He's going back to his camps that just spawned. But he did buy an item. Well, he bought two long. That's decent damage for this early level. That's decent damage. He could do heavy peel on pretty much any lane, especially his Graves. But you can do camps, which is fine. It's the optimal thing to do. Just do camps. Malphite already showed up here, by the way. I think Malphite never backed. It's the Fog of War is there, so I don't know. I didn't pay attention, but I didn't think he backed. I don't think he backed yet. Which also could explain why he was level 6 first. But again, I digress. So again, you're the Graves. He's just farming, getting his XP up, getting his gold up, all that. But I promise you, he's not looking at lanes. He's probably looking at the map. But the problem with looking at the map is that the only thing that the map tells you is where people are. It doesn't tell you how much health they have, what sums they're using. So that's why you gotta hover. 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 Map is not moving. What the fuck? What the hell? It's not working now? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so you gotta hover. Hover everything as you're moving around the jungle. Funny enough, I learned to hover playing as a jungler, because you have to know what you're getting yourself into when you leave the jungle to fight. And something that people in low elo don't do is they don't ping when people use their summoner spells, when they just stuff. They don't ping to go in or whatever. There's a ping that is like asking for assistance. That's good for prio. But a lot of people in low elo use it as like, help me because I'm getting shitted on, which is not, I don't think it's not good. Because if your laner is 30% HP and the enemy laner is like 90 and you don't have the damage to take out the enemy laner 2v1, then it's a waste of time to gank that lane. So you got to make sure that when you do gank that lane, you can get the kill, even if it's a trade 1-for-1. Like if your laner dies but then you get the kill, or even better, if you get the one kill on the enemy laner but then both of you live, that's even better. That's best case scenario. And you also gotta know where the enemy jungle is, which is why you gotta keep an eye on the map and hover a lot. Because if you go try to help your laner, who is already low in HP, and you get counter ganked, you're both losing that. And that's 0-2. That's not worth it. You can tell that you can tell that stuff by just playing the game, but you should be able to tell um, within the first. I think I think by level 4, I want to say by level 4, you should know which of your laners is better than which one. And you can sort of tell by how aggro they're playing, by their positioning, by how they act when they get ganked, all that stuff, like just their behavior overall. That's why early on I was like, yeah, this Ezreal's nice. So kudos to you, bro. Horses, I don't know. But yeah, always hover. This, I'm actually glad he didn't do this. This is really important. When you're about to gank a lane, never use this. Never use this. Why? Because when you use this, it shows up in the map for everyone. Which means even if you don't blast it down, if you blast it up wherever, like it doesn't matter, as long as you use this, the enemy jungler, everybody in the enemy team knows you used that, and they know which way you're heading because you used it and it aimed that way. It shows up in the map. So when you want to gank a lane, gank it first. It's good to have Oracle, but I guess it's still early. He can still have a ward, and then he's just doing this. At least he's close to bot, whatever. You know, he could sort of make, he couldn't do anything here. They were already under his tower, so it's fine that he went straight to camp. This is fine. This is actually fine. He used it just to clear the ward. That's totally fine. Because what that does is that you cleared the ward. Something I don't like to do is start Drake when the enemy jungler is alive. I don't like to do that. The only reason I ever do Drake when the enemy jungler is alive is if I saw them in the map that they were top. That's me. If you're confident that you can beat the jungler, that's on you. But you also got to take into account that Drake is between mid and bot, meaning a 1v1 against the jungler can turn into a 1v4 because you don't know that your team is going to follow up. And as soon as you die fighting that 1v4, you're going to start pinging your team. Oh, nobody followed. Oh, Drake is up. Oh, this, that. You shouldn't risk that. If you die 1v4, that's on you. That's your fault. So you cleared vision, whatever. You're clearly setting up for Drake. This is completely fine. Going all the way over here, I don't know. This is also kind of fine. You know, it's just info. I think he's just checking to see where Malphite is. The funny part is, Malphite still gets this Drake somehow. So I don't know why all of this is happening. That's why he backed. So he wasted all of this time, and Malphite is probably just clearing and, you know, up in tempo, which means that's probably why he gets level 6. Because I'm looking at Graves, like, I'm thinking Graves is level 5, my jungler is, enemy jungle has to be level 5. I hope the Graves gets level 6 first. That's what I'm thinking as Katarina. And then comes to my lane, but that's more than likely not gonna happen. So what happens is, I'm here. He's back to clearing. He hasn't done anything in 6 minutes, almost 7 minutes. He hasn't done anything like impactful to any lane in 7 minutes. Maybe provide a little bit of info. This is all warded. This is completely fine. But then now he has to get level 6. At least he's stronger. He has a serrated dirt. He's stronger. But he's not ganking any lanes. All he's doing is clearing slightly faster. Meanwhile, I'm trying to play for the Hui. This is my mistake, I guess, technically. But Hui is not leaving, and I need to match his level. And I get ganked because he's level 6. He's up in tempo. If Graves came here, hovered here, this is what I mean, by the way. Every time Malphite shows up in the map, this is how I knew Graves was bad. Earlier, Graves was here. Malphite was here. No pings, no engage, no info, nothing. I had to react to seeing him on the map. Graves is here. Malphite somehow comes all the way around and ults me from here to here. Malphite is good because he did it. Not only did he dare to go into our jungle to do this, but he was out of vision the entire time. Meanwhile, Graves is right there. Graves could have upped his tempo, been on Raptors, and saw the Malphite. Or matched the gank. But all he's doing is what? Wasting time farming. And I told him too, because I know how to come back from a losing lane. I was trying to tell him earlier, like, we need Yone to win. Because in this game, even though low elo match, anything can happen, you are our win con. But Yone winning this lane against the Riven is so big for us. It's so friggin' big for us. Riven not getting fed is so big for us. Thankfully, even though Yone was like, I think he was like 1-2 or 1-3 or something like that. He was like, his KDA was bad. He was still ahead in levels and he was like putting pressure on the tower. So like he was technically winning lane. He just had a bad KD. But we didn't have a jungle this game. So, you know, he gets to play. Look at this scenario. He is this low under my tower. No mana. Probably still has flash. That's about it. Graves just got level 6. This is a free kill. This should never happen. You being a jungler. This should never have, like, for the jungler, for the laner to be this low, and you should already know that he's that low. You should already know this. In this case, this is my mental if I'm Graves, right? I'm like, okay, I'm clearing red. Oh no, my Katarina just got ganked. Damn, Malphite is level 6. I'm about to be 6. That's fine. Alright, she died. Whatever. I wonder if Graves, I wonder if Hui is gonna back here. As soon as I see him in vision, here, I know he's gonna hit tower. And he has a wave. I'm like, he's gonna hit tower, he's gonna leave. When I see this health and this mana, I'm going for that. Fuck this camp. I clear this, play for 6. Fuck this camp. I come here. This is death, because what I do is I come straight down, and I have a dash. I'm Graves. I have a dash. I come straight down this way. Wei should be right here. He's here. And he's gonna run back. By that time, Graves would be right here. That's a free kill, bro. Or at least flash. And he's still staying, and Graves is just farming. Like, that should never happen. You're Graves. All you are is damage. That's a free kill. That's free gold. That's gold sitting in front of your face and you're just not taking it. And also, I know for a fact, Malphite is not going to help Hui in this scenario because Drake is up. And I know that because Drake is up, and I don't... In this case, right? I'm over here farming, whatever. I saw that Wei was still there. Nobody is in the bot lane. Nobody. And I see the enemy because I can see my team that are fighting. Right there, I could have killed Wei for free. And then went straight to the fight. And I still would have like maybe like 70 health. At least. On top of that, my Katarina just came back to lane. Even though they took Drake, Hui would be dead. My Katarina's back to lane. My bot lane is alive. It's a 4v3. We got numbers. even though they took Drake. And that's how you know Graves is bad, because his tempo is horrible. His awareness is bad. Like his rotation time is bad. Everything he's doing is bad. The only reason we fought this and won is because I knew we win that as the Katarina, right? I was like, I know we win that. And I knew that you were good. So I was like, this Ezreal's pretty nice. So I'm like, let's fight. You see, I'm pinging. All in. I immediately get there as fast as I can. What happens? They're stuck. I collect this double. And it would have been a triple if Graves had up his tempo. It would have been a free kill for Graves, and I would have probably gotten a triple. Like, I knew we win that. I'm very good. I'm just experienced. Like, I play this game way too much. That's really it. But you gotta have a plan every time you do anything, absolutely anything. You gotta have a plan. I collect the double and I go back to lane full health.
Okay.
And then Graves just goes back to you know, if Graves would have gotten the kill on Hui, we would have, like, it would have just been everybody dead at that point, right? He would have had gold. He could have back bought, gotten stronger, then came back to clear this, and by the time he's done clearing this, his upside camps would have came back. And that's just in a perfect world. And we also know that also would have been perfect because he clears this, he goes up to his topside camps, Grubs is up. We gotta play for topside, so he would have been topside at the right time. And if he would have killed Malphite, you know, we would have won that in a perfect world. But the worst, the situation could have been hypothetical that Malphite was doing this while Graves was doing this. All Graves would have to do is step right here, ward. If Malphite is doing this, because Malphite already died to Graves, Graves bought and cleared and whatever, he's stronger. If Malphite is doing this, pops the seed, goes over, kills Malphite again, takes the grubs. Like, you see what I mean? Like, he could up his tempo so well, but he's just that bad. And we know Malphite is going AP by the items that he's building. So Graves can practically one-shot Malphite with like an item and a half. If he was going armor, which is how you're supposed to go in this matchups, because there's 3 AD on the enemy team as Malphite. There's 3 AD, so he should have gone armor, but he didn't. That was his mistake. If Graves was good, he could have abused the fact that he's going AP. Again, and that's good for me too, because Malphite going AP means I can kill him, because he's squishy as an assassin. Katarina loses hard to bruisers and tanks, especially 1v1. The more targets there are, the better it is for Katarina. That's just, you know, that's just me. Graves is good at killing one target at a time, especially if they're squishy. He's like a bruiser assassin. But yeah, that's just, you know, I'm gonna leave it there. Again, you can always come back to the VOD later on if you want to. I can try to, like, if you ever want to stream on Discord or something like that, I can try to give you some tips. You know, I like to do that sometimes when I'm not in the mood to play. I like to watch people play. I often see my friends play and I give them tips on like what's going on, because even though some of them are nice, some of them aren't, but they also miss information around the map, and I'm always telling them like, hey, this happened, and they're just like, oh, you know, you're right, whatever. Like, I'm just typically aware like that. That's just me though. But yeah, always hover. And it's funny because if you go on YouTube, right, and you go on like to like tips on how to lane anything, that's one of the main tips they're always gonna tell you is you have something to you were the Graves? Damn, bro, you definitely had to work on your jungle pathing. You gotta work on that, man. You gotta work on your jungle pathing and knowing how much damage you do. Tryndamere. We banned Tryndamere. But yeah, definitely take a look at the VOD if you want to. It helps you. If you want tips on like how to jungle generally, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not gonna work every single game because every single game is different. Just like how like it's gonna work most of the games for sure. For sure it's gonna work for you most of the games. But just because you might play as well as wait, what? For help, I'll be very good at jungle now. I mean, it takes time. It's not like you're gonna hop into a game and be like, oh, I learned this from this one video and now I'm gonna be like a lot better. Like you have to practice execution.